Welcome back to the Being Mother Hustler podcast. My name is Kareen Mills, and we have the amazing Lynn Podetti. Welcome, Lynn, all the way in Australia.
Yay! Thank you, Corinne. I'm so excited to be here. It's Monday morning in Sydney right now.
That's so cool. Sydney's on my bucket list. So one day I get to go there and visit you and see you and your beautiful
Yeah, I
family.
can't wait. I'm always welcome. My home is always yours if you ever go to Sydney.
Wow. That's cool. So, Lynn, let's talk about your childhood and how the childhood sort of like dwindled into your adulthood and how you mother your children based on what you learned and maybe what you learned not to do.
Yeah, yeah, no worries. I'm excited to share that with you. So, um, my parents were the typical Vietnamese, but from the north area, so communist
Mm,
style. So they were really hard on me. From young, they were just tough, controlling, didn't let me give me any freedom. But it was also that they came from Vietnam to Australia in 1992. And so at that time, I was surrounded by friends who were more in this generation, meaning like they had parents that weren't, I guess, moving into a new country and having to build up their life. So I felt that there was a conflict in what was happening in my real life and what happened at home. So what I mean is, at school, all my friends were just going to school, going home, having a good time because their parents are, at that level where they could just allow the kids to do that. But then my parents coming into Australia at that time, it was like a brand new life for them. So they were working, hustling away. There was so much stress and pressure. And then also their personality was so controlling that I was forced to work at a very young age. At 10 years old, I was working, sewing, coming home from school, just, almost child labor, right? And yeah, no freedom at all because they were like, hey, well, do you think that we're having an easy life? You got to do what you got to do to help it. I'm like, but my friends don't have to do that. And so, it was just really hard work at a young age. So I really resented my parents and they didn't give me any freedom to grow up, to do anything. It was all controlled by them. And so, of course, I rebelled and I ended up running away, had a kid at 19-year-old. All that just turned into, I guess, a nightmare of a teenager and hard time for my parents too. Overall, I've gone the other way around, right? Like I've really resolved everything. I've learned to be mature enough to see, the challenges that they went through. That's why they put me through that. So now as a mum, I
mm,
really looked at what was good and what was bad. The good part was
mhm.
that they really taught me hard work and, work for your own money and so I try to, even though I have all the abundance things that I could give to my kids now, I want to make sure that they still work for it. I don't want to buy them too many toys and I want them to have some hardship like I did.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I am super easygoing. Like I do not control anything. I'm treating them more as a friend slash, mama mode still comes out when you're naughty. Like I'm still going
Yes.
to be tough like my parents, but
Yep.
it's really in between, like what I really like about my parents, I try to use that. What I don't like about them, I make sure that we have such a quality relationship and time together versus my parents were just working, hustling away, right? And I could easily hustle away because of my entrepreneurship, but I remember how it felt like when you just didn't have your parents around to spend quality time with. Actually, I was with them all the time, but we were working.
Mhm.
We had no weekends. Whereas now I take my kids traveling all the time. We're always spending, quality time.
Yeah. That's so cool. So you had a child when you were a child,
Yeah,
when you were
exactly.
19, when you
And
were
I was quite
19.
an immature child too, because remember, my parents didn't let me go anywhere. So at 19, 20, I just wanted to party all the time. I still was just trying to, oh my God, freedom, and then having a kid at that time too. Those two really didn't go well together.
Yeah, you talked about, because we've talked about this before, where you got pregnant and you essentially you walked away from your relationship with that pregnancy. And then you just grew up after that and went back to school,
Yep,
right?
that's right. So
So,
I remember going, I do not want people to judge me as this single mom that's going to like quit school, then go on the dole or the, child's like, government support, and her life is all over by then, And so I knew that's what people think. And so I was like, okay, I failed once, but as in I've chosen the wrong path, wrong guy, wrong relationship, but I ain't going to let that happen. So I made sure I could go back to school, uni as soon as I could, which was only like 6 months off. And I still graduated with a distinction, like better than my cousins and friends who had no kids and just went to school, right? There was something about, that mentality of like, I'm going to push through this. Not only did I pass it, I even like advanced more than others. So it shows that challenges doesn't have to stop you.
Yeah. Talk about the choices, like you were faced with that choice, and how difficult was that for you, knowing you have a little guy depending on you, and then you're chasing your dreams? Because the essence of a mother hustler is what I always say is for us to never waver when it comes to our dreams and wants and desires in this life. And at the same time, I think the mom guilt comes into play a lot of times where, I'm not going to be there for my child, and how dare I be a mom and then not going to be there and then go ahead and chase the dreams. Like, how does the noise sound in your mind?
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to have always thought that my happiness was important. So I remember, like I said, I had a kid when I was still a teenager, and I could easily just be at home looking after my kids all the time, but I knew that I was unhappy. I knew I was not happy with myself. I needed to be out. So I would go out, but I would make sure that someone's going to take care of him. Then later on when, I had a job or whatever else, I still made sure that I was happy, not just sacrifice everything for my kid. When I started a business or anything else, it was always like, I want to make sure I'm okay, because if I'm not okay, I can't be there for my kid. And I always also saw long-term wise. I'm like, okay, I'm going to sacrifice and, go out hustling and networking and all that, because the long-term wise, my kids are going to really get the reward. But if I, just stay home with my kids, I know that I can't give him the best in the future, if, you know what I mean? So I always ask myself, like, am I happy? And if I'm not happy, fix that first. At the same time, of course, you don't neglect your kids to like just all about your happiness, right? But it's about like, as long as your kid's okay, it's okay. Like even now that I have a husband now, and when the kids were younger, we try to go out. I said, let's go on date nights and stuff. And every time we leave them with a nanny or even with a family member, they would cry. And my husband would be like, oh my God, I feel so bad. I can't believe we're leaving them. And I would say, they're okay. They're going to be okay. You can't just baby them. Because sometimes we do that and we actually make them can't grow up.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, trust me, the moment we walk out, they're going to be okay, because they're smart kids. You know how to play you. I swear, leave them, and then a minute later, they're fine again. And so, that's just an example of how easily even my husband feels so bad, even though he's not doing anything wrong.
Yeah.
Just going out for a few hours.
Yeah, it could also be his upbringing too. And because like you and me, I have the similar upbringing where my mom was there, but we were 6 children, and it was really tough on her. And my dad was never there. He was there, but essentially not really helping, more like better that he's not there.
Yeah.
So both of them were kind of absent emotionally and mentally. And so for me, when I leave, I'm very liberal with my kids. Like they'll be fine, like I'm not going to put them on like a net hoping that they don't break. Like I let them get hurt. I let them go through life, because life is like that. And for me, like I become who I am, and I'm strong as I am today because of what I went through.
Yeah.
And yes, like you, I don't want my kids to go through, all the adversities and all the struggles, but they are going to have their own no matter what.
Yeah.
And we can't always be putting them in a bubble and not allow those things to happen to them.
Exactly. Starting off with just being able to go out and travel, because I know so many friends that can't travel without their kids or can't go anywhere without their kids. And I'm like, where are you going to give them that chance to be independent, to know how to feel, oh, I miss my parents, but I'll be all right. My parents will be back, or just those simple things. I really want to let parents out there to just go, it's good for yourself and it's good for
Yeah.
your kid. Yeah.
What advice can you give to teenage moms? Because you've obviously gone through that, and look where you are
Yeah.
now, looking back. Because I know at one point you wanted to, you had some thoughts of, suicidal thoughts
Yeah.
and killing
Yeah.
yourself because you wanted to give up. But what drove you not to do that, and what drove you to really persist and pursue whatever it is you want in life,
Sure.
regardless?
Yeah, I mean, I took responsibility. I thought, okay, I gave birth to this kid. I'm not going to make his life miserable. I'm not going to run away and be this wuss that can't live, can't go through challenges. So
Mm-hmm.
there was something about me that I have to prove to myself. But second of all, it's always forever learning. When you constantly go, okay, I want a better life. So how do I get that information to get better at it? So then I constantly learn from Oprah, learn from all this, famous celebrities and how they gone through their struggles, and comparing yourself to them. Like Oprah being, the challenge that she went through, having a kid young raped and all that stuff. And yet she's like, a multi-billionaire and successful and then spreading love and her message through the world. You just know your problem isn't as bad. So I always try to compare myself to people with worse problems and go, I'm fortunate enough to be in Australia. I'm not in Vietnam. I'm all this
Yep.
and that. So it's always being able to shift your mindset to positivity. Of course, practices like gratitude journal every single day helps that, right? So I started doing that 10 years ago, and that really changed my life. And I still do that now. And I'm starting to encourage my family members to do that. And so then, after that, I also believe that you really do need help around. My parents weren't there for me when I ran away from home, whatever, but I relied on my friends, or I would go, there's always people that will be there to help you. Sometimes as a single mum, you think, you think all these negative things. Then you think it's all on you and no one's going to help you, and you have a pity party. But you go, you know what? This is what I want. Okay, what can I learn to get there? Who can help me be there? So friends have helped me babysit, or family have helped me babysit, and all that. And when it comes to learning, I'm not talking about just learning how to do something. I'm talking about learning about yourself, discovering as much as you can about yourself. Why do you do what you do? How did you get to this point, right? So it's because there's traumas and there's beliefs and things that you need to resolve. Otherwise you can't improve. But final word is, if I could do it, you can do it. If I was a single mom and had no family support and nothing, you can do it. And and anyone else that's gone through any big struggle, just go, if they could do it, I could do it.
That's awesome. Now, how did you meet your husband?
On a YouTube video. So
Wow.
I think about 8-9 years ago, I started my business, and I just needed to do some videos to get out there, and I was really shy with videos, but I did whatever I could just on a crap old mobile phone in my room. But in that year, I did do a lot of law of attraction, like putting dreams out, and learn, because it was my first time learning about all that.
Mm-hmm.
So when I set out this dream, like, I want my guy to be this and that, like all those wish of an ambitious guy and successful guy, whatever else. Because for the first time, I actually was asking God what I want. Before, it was just, I didn't know anything. Whatever come. It was any cute guys come, and cool, I like you, right?
Yeah.
Whereas it was my first year where I was like, okay, I was a problem. Okay, what do I want? And things just manifested. Like the fact that he found my video was super rare, because it was not like I knew how to keyword research anything or optimize my video. And I had like not many views, but it was the quality view, the view of him coming into my life. So he lived in Sydney, I lived in Melbourne. There was no connection at all. It was so random. And I still remember it was my actual birthday. I was in Singapore, lonely, going, God, when is my life going to change? I know it's going to change this year. I just have this feeling because I'm on the right path, but I don't know how. And then that email came. It was from him inviting me for a business meeting. And I'm thinking, who's this guy? What if he's crazy? But I was still open-minded, like, what if miracles do happen?
Yeah.
And when I saw him, we got married in 8 months. Say that it just went bang, 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 bang. What can I say about it? It's work on yourself. And once you're ready, the universe or God will just give it to you so randomly. You don't have to try.
Right? It's so true. Everything in life is like that, I notice. And And even like looking back when I did not know that that actually can happen, like manifesting and the law of attraction, revisiting my past and thinking, oh my gosh, I said at 9, because, growing up, my escape in my mind, the only place I could escape to is my mind, right?
Yeah,
Because our imagination is, and I didn't even think of it this way, but our imagination can go so, it's unlimited, can go so very far. And my escape when the household was a turmoil
yeah,
was at 9 years old. I remember, and maybe I've done this when I was younger, but I know that I could vividly remember at 9 years old that when the household was in turmoil in the Philippines, I would think about coming to America. I would think
yeah,
about, Disneyland, and I would think about like all the things that you see on television.
yeah,
And then I don't know, 11, 12 years later, I come to America with my parents, and I I had already known that my grandmother was sponsoring them, but because it'd been too long, like nobody really expected it to ever come. And so
yeah,
I would just like really dive deep into my own mind.
yeah,
And so that's one. And then number two is when I came to America, I had a really bad adversity, like a nightmare. And I was sued. I through insurance, not having insurance because my dad was, did not maintain insurance and didn't really know what he was doing. And so I just said, one day I'm going to become an insurance professional. My father never had somebody that will educate immigrants, somebody that will tell everybody and take some time to educate people. And then 8 years later, I became one,
yeah,
like I'm, at that point, I still didn't, like you, I just started really my journey into this whole personal development and really having so many aha moments in life looking back. So it's just been such a wonderful journey to understand that life really works like that,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, likewise. So I look back because when I saw the movie The Secret on TV, I
Mm-hmm.
was like, oh my God, that's what I've been doing. I didn't know there's such a thing called The Secret or the Law of Attraction. But like you, as a kid, I would always daydream and I would imagine things. And, I remember when I was sewing for my mom, in my mind, I was just always thinking about, as much as I was resenting my parents, I was always thinking the day that I had so much money, I could go to the bank and just like pay off their house as a surprise. And, just imagine all these things. And I have even also like when I did a scholarship in year 10, I even saw myself walking through the school and as if I've already I've got that, like I'm in that school. And then when I got the scholarship, I was like, yeah, I knew that somehow. But anyway, all that was just self-discovery versus when I saw The Secret, I was like, oh, other people think like this too. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You knew that because it's already happened.
Yeah.
I don't know if you listen to Dr. Joe Dispenza. He says that what your brain doesn't know if it's happening in reality or not, but when you play the movie in your brain, it thinks that it's happened. All
Yeah.
you're really doing after it's finally manifested is executing what you've been doing in your mind.
Yeah.
Mind
Yeah.
blown, like
I
mind
know.
blown, right? I'm
Yep.
like,
Yep.
holy cow.
Yep. Yep. That was my 8 years ago when I discovered all this mind stuff and vision board and just imagining. I was like blown away. Yeah.
So cool. So tell me about your work and your vision and your mission in what you do now, because we all know as an entrepreneur, we don't just do it to make money. We do it to make an impact and difference in this world. And when you become a parent, you have a different lenses and how you see the world and how you serve the world.
Yeah. So I was lucky to sort of stumble across outsourcing and, working with overseas staff, especially people in the Philippines, your kind of people. And
Yeah.
I fell in love with it because I realized, oh my God, it's like I get to help people in developing country who were left behind, right? Like I was fortunate to move to Australia and my life has changed, but we obviously can't just take everybody from another country over. But what I really love about my line of work, which means what I do is I recruit virtual assistants or people living in developing countries to do marketing admin work for clients in Australia. So in a sense, I love it because they get to earn a good living, but still be with their family, because not everyone wants to move to a new country and have no friends and family. And to be honest, when you move to a new country, you work like a dog, and, you know, you it's
Yes.
really hard as well. And so they get to be where they are and make a good living. And then I also try to empower them to see that it's not just you making a good living. How can you make your country better? So we do charity projects, and we have computer programs for, you know, other kids who are, you know, from disadvantaged homes and things. So we try to embed some charity work in there, so that the VAs that join us, they're not coming in, oh, because you're going to pay me well. It's like, how can I continue this ripple effect of helping my country get better? So the next generation would be able to, you know, have an opportunity to be a VA as well. And so that my vision for the future is really, how can I get more businesses to think social, think how they can make a social impact. So instead of going, where can I get the cheapest thing done and who's going to work the hardest for me, it's like, how can I have someone help me free up my time and help me grow my business? But at the same time, I know that I'm helping another family, I'm helping a country to improve themselves. And so my big vision overall is like, you know, eventually, I don't know whether I'm going to have a platform of, you know, be able to offer more services, more, you know, and then just allow clients to have, because right now we only have sort of 2 services, part-time or full-time. Well, technically it's 1 service, you know, hiring a VA or not, but just less hours or more hours. But I want to be able to do more, right? Because more services means that more people would be able to be hired, and more clients would come on board to hire something that they need, as well as more countries. Right now, I mean, my own company, I have people from Singapore, Indonesia and all that. But for clients, we currently hire in the Philippines, just because it's easier for infrastructure. And we know, because we try to get team leaders to organize real catch up with one another and stuff like that. So it's just easy for us to do it that way. But overall, my goal is to help everybody, not just the Philippines. Yeah.
So what is your favorite part in what you're doing?
My favorite part is being a leader, to really inspire people, because especially now that I've got more opportunities to do video content, because I have a team now, you know, I've hired some more local staff who sort of taken over some of my roles like marketing or sales and things. So I'm more free to create content that I love, that I know that it will inspire people. So I've taken my stories as, you know, single mom, or as, you know, wanting to be entrepreneur and being able to work from home. I'm just using my time to to share what I know and share my story. So I really enjoy that part right now.
That's so cool. What is a crazy thing that you want to do in 2020? Something crazy, interesting, and maybe out of the box.
Very out of the box. So 2 months ago, I decided that I want to be an actor. Not that it would happen overnight. It's been years in the making, I would say. I could see myself being this shy Vietnamese girl and never wanted to be on camera because I was shy. And I think a lot of people are shy, right? Like most people are like, ah. And so if you've never been exposed to it and your parents don't encourage you to do that, you just think, I could never do that.
Yep.
But I sort of just keep doing videos. And then last year, I also just focused on YouTube video, because I just thought, okay, if I want to inspire millions of people, well, get over myself and just be comfortable with videos. And so I consistently produce videos every single week. And so I got more confident. Together with taking my daughter to auditions for, you know, acting and commercials and things, because I thought that I was too old to be in this field. So I was sort of living my life through her, going, she's got the talent, she likes this thing. Let's put her into auditions and things. But God gave me an opportunity to audition for something, and I said yes to it, and I got an audition. So I actually was in a TV commercial last year. And so, I kind of like this. And then of course, learning never stops with me. I constantly do mindset work, and I signed up to Mind Valley. It's a really cool app that does, you know, with a lot of personal development gurus. And just the more I debunk my own mindset, the more I'm like, oh my God, I actually want to be an actor, but I thought that I'm too old, that it's not for me. And when I started listing down the advantage of like, why is now a good time? I'm like, oh my God, it's actually a good time because
Wow.
I have a business that is flexible. I could go to auditions when they give you a 1-day notice, right? And I have all the experience because an actor, what it really requires is you understanding human nature and experiences in life. And,
Yep.
you know, and I'm like, if I did it any earlier, I would have no idea. I still haven't even sought myself out yet, whereas now I can have, I understand all the challenges in life and I can bring that into my art. And so that's it. I joined a course and I've been taking acting class in the last 2 months, got myself an agent, been through auditions. On Friday, I did a US TV pilot series audition. That was like, and what that really reminded me was exactly like 10 years ago when I started my entrepreneurship. I didn't wait for myself to be ready to sort of take on clients. It was like, I was still learning about marketing and business, but then when a client said, I need help with something, I said, okay, even though I was like, oh my God, I don't even know how to do it.
Yeah. You figure it out.
Yeah. I gave it a chance and I learned on the job, and that really helped me to be an entrepreneur. Same as an actor now. I remember, so they told me 1 day in advance that, hey, there's a US TV pilot audition. Do you want to do it? I looked at it and it says preferred US accent or an Asian accent. I'd have neither. I'm going to remember 5 pages of script. I mean, if you go there and you read your paper, it's not going to be really effective. I knew that I should remember the line. I said to myself, should I even bother? Like, I mean, it's not in my favor, right? Like,
Yeah.
I haven't studied that much. I don't know these accents. They're going to choose someone that's got the accent, right? So maybe I shouldn't go. But then my mind said, no, go. Like, just go and learn something. If you get it, good. Yeah. I mean, if you don't go, there's no chance of you getting it. If you go, you might suck at it, but you might learn something. That I did because I got to experience what a real film audition was. It's different to a TV commercial. And it also made me go, now I really want to sign up to an American accent class, which I did. So end of the month, I'm doing American accent. But it just, what I'm trying to say is that you're never ready. Just do it. And then you'll see the next gap, the next step.
Yeah. But that's a really good character of an entrepreneur, because that's what I do. And I think most entrepreneurs are like that. Business owners, on the other hand, are very based on business planning. And they've got to have a business plan before they begin, right?
Yeah.
They've got to have all their ducks in a row before we begin. Entrepreneurs, we start with nothing, like zero, even to the money part.
Yeah.
I remember starting multiple businesses earlier in my entrepreneurship where I literally sold first before I bought the product. So I had a list of people. I talked to people first, and I got commitments first before I invested into whatever.
That's the smart way. That is exactly how you should do it. But you didn't know. Yeah.
But business owning mindset is like buy and sell. But entrepreneur mindset is sell first and then go buy the product that you already sold.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. You just have to get creative because you don't have all the money in the world to do all that. And I think we're lucky sometimes when we don't have much that we learn to really do everything in the leanest way and be really creative, right? Because I'm just imagining if I had really rich parents, I might not even ever wanted to be an entrepreneur. I don't know, because I don't have to work maybe. And then second of all, if I had all the money, I'll just throw it into hiring people and not know what the hell I'm doing, right? So
yeah, because people ask me all the time, like, are you still doing your own podcast? Are you still doing this, the editing, this and that? And I'm like, yeah, I am, and it's not the controlling part of me that does not want to let go and outsource it. But it's mostly the process that I really, truly enjoy. The process of doing it, the process of learning from people and learning how people, what makes people perform in life and execute their dreams, and talking about law of attraction.
Yeah.
When you do all the process and the steps of the podcast, I have to listen to the recording at least 3 times, and sometimes more, because when I'm editing and going back and forth, you know, I have to take time. And so it forces me to really listen in order to also craft my title, because my title comes out of the conversation. It's not something, because I know that sometimes podcasters will ask their guests, what title would you like me to use?
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
Or they have scripted podcasts. Like for me, I want it to be as raw and as organic as possible. And because that's where the magic happens, and that's where the magic, I could hear it loud and clear when I listen to it,
Yeah.
because it's not scripted. So
Yeah. Yeah, I enjoy
yeah.
it a lot more. It's just like we're having a conversation, and yeah, it feels like more flowing. Yeah.
Yeah. What are your favorite parts or parts of being a mom?
Um, Once again, it comes down to leadership and being able to inspire. It's like you get to have these two humans that you can really, help them grow and see them grow into these thoughtful and kind human beings. And I guess because having a tough childhood and just felt so messed up, I just feel like now it's my chance to give the next two human beings that I've created, three, actually I have three now, I forgot. My oldest is 16 that lives in Melbourne still, so I don't have to do much with him. So sometimes I forget that because he's so low maintenance. he's so independent that he never makes me worried. But yeah, I really enjoy being able to learn something and then sharing it with the kids and then making them participate in it and seeing them grow into a good human being. And that's what excites me. And as they're getting older too, I can't wait to be their best friend, to go out with them more. Even now when we have conversations, it's so much fun. And imagine when they're 10, 12-year-old and you can actually, do things together. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah. Did they ever tell you, I'm proud of you, Mom?
Yeah, they tell me they love me so much. It's really amazing. Like, because my family never said I love you, never said sorry, never, like, it was so unaffectionate. And there's something with my kids, which I think is a little bit not normal, because every 5 minutes they're like, Mom, I'm like, what? I love you. I'm like, okay, Mom. It's like as if they need something, but they keep saying it. Like, I'm not even joking. It's like every 10 minutes. And it's like even the 4-year-old boy and the 6-year-old girl, well, the older one's a bit different now. He's a teenager. But that constant affection, because I guess I'm always showing so much affection and so approachable with my feelings and vulnerable, that they just can't help to keep expressing it. I'm like, I love you too. It's just like, yeah.
Isn't it so sweet and music to your ears? This
Yeah.
morning, I got a hug from behind. It was my youngest. He's 10. And I'm like, oh, that's so sweet. I love it. Can I have more, please?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
it's just so awesome. It's good to be
Yeah.
a mom.
Yeah, you want it to be just like when they feel it out of nowhere. It's not just the only kisses where it's like goodbye, hello at school. It's the
Yeah.
random things that they say, and there was no reason. It's not like I was talking to you and you're saying it. It's just, Mom, I love you. It's like, okay.
It's so cool. That's amazing. What or how old is your oldest?
He's 16 now. Yeah.
How would you feel if when he's 18 or 19 he has a child? You're laughing.
That's funny. I know he wouldn't, because he's just so different to me. He's just really grounded and really mature. He's actually an old soul. So I just know he makes wiser decisions. But if he did, it's fine. Like, I just know that I'm going to be there for him and I will support him. And yeah, I actually wanted more kids for myself, but I didn't want any more because it's hard work. So I don't mind having having to babysit his kids, let's say, because then it's like another baby that I can give back. I can look after and give back. Yeah, but overall, I'm very open-minded. I think that no matter what happens, like, I don't know, if he says he's gay or he says he's having a baby or whatever it is, nothing phases me. It's like, sure, no worries, I still love you and let's deal with it.
Yeah, just hug them, and it doesn't change the fact that you're mom to them.
Yeah.
And they're your child.
Yeah.
You always have to love them, and I think sometimes, and I know like my parents were like your parents, they were very unaffectionate. Doesn't mean they don't love us. I know that like now my mom says I love you to me because I tell her now,
Yeah.
because now
Yeah.
I'm a mom and I do that within my own family. And I
Yeah.
tell my mom, I love you, mom, like that.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
she says back, I love you. But now sometimes she says, I love you because I started it. Like it's just like it doesn't have
Time.
the
I have to
taboo
challenge
anymore.
myself to do that because I still
Yeah.
feel a bit awkward, to say it as much as I would normally say it to my own family. But I think I will take it on board and try it out.
Yeah. Yeah. And then now she just does it. It's like I think there's just this big wall about how affectionate we are. It's not in our culture, in the Asian culture.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
now it's like, I do it with my kids, and why shouldn't I do it with my parents? So
Yeah, yeah. I'm
it's
gonna do
cool.
that. Actually, thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome. So what scares you, if any?
What scares me the most is not having enough time to do everything I wanted to do. So, you see so many cases of early death, cancer, and plane crash, and just random. When your time's up, your time's up. And
Yep.
I would hate to just because I have so many dreams, right? Like now, my activist dreams just started, or I haven't got to my mission of helping the whole world yet. So the biggest scary thing is just not being able to do it in time. And so I try to do as much as I can in a day and try my best. But I just know that I just want more time, and I hope God gives me more time, to be able to live till I'm 90 or 100 or whatever it is.
Me too.
Because because my plans, it's a long plan, right? But I do have, I have made peace with death. For the past few years, I started to really learn about it more, really understand it, because
Mhm.
I want it to be something that I'm not shocked about, because it's part of life. It's birth or death. It's that scary that I don't know where my time will be up. So that's the scariest thing.
If you were
How
to
about
die,
yours? I'm curious to know yours.
my biggest I'm scared of teenage suicide. Like
Mm,
like that always keeps me engaged with my kids
mm,
because of that biggest fear that I have. We do have a lot of, again, like cases of, it's just so close to home for people
yeah,
losing their child to that because they just never got, and maybe they were engaged, but they never engaged enough.
yeah,
So I try, like my teenager, he's 13. I always say, I know you're annoyed by me right now, but I want to know what's in your head and I
um,
want to talk about it.
yeah,
And mom, I'm not thinking about anything. I said, well, you've got to be thinking about something. And sometimes, like, I'm thinking about sushi, mom. I want sushi, you know? But it's
yeah,
just like, I just want to know what they think about.
yeah,
And as simple as asking, and it just creates that moment of laughing and talking. And I always hug them and say, don't leave me ever because I love
yeah,
you guys so much. Like I just tell them that because that is my, probably by far my biggest fear.
yeah. And I would say I agree. The other fear I have is just your kids dying before you, right? Like just like I can't control my own death, I can't control, my
There's
family's death. And I hug and kiss my kids the same, like you were saying, just because I don't know when it is my last time with them. So yeah, just
It's
really,
so true. If you
yeah.
were to die today, what impact do you think you will leave?
I think I'm quite proud with like everything that I've done till now, because I've always tried to do what I want to do, and I've never let people stop me. So I have no regrets in that way. I already know that the people that I work with and anyone that's gone past me or have dealt with me know that I've shown them what kindness is or generosity is, and how you can have everything, how you can still have fun and be young and yet be this serious entrepreneur at the same time, how you can be a mum and have kids and still travel the world and do all that. So I know that I've done my best to be where I am now, but the best is yet to come.
Always. Never ends, right? I think the pursuit, uh, or I'm happy when I'm in the pursuit of something. So
Yeah.
if I end that pursuit, then I no longer have, I think, the purpose, no
Yeah.
matter what that purpose is, because your purpose, I think, changes based on what energizes you, right?
Yeah.
And so I
Yeah.
think where we are as entrepreneurs the most happy is that we're always chasing something.
Exactly. And of course, the only time is when it's challenging, when you're pursuing something. But sometimes I still have to remind myself, but that's the purpose of life and growth. You know, it's
Yeah.
going pursuing something hard and challenging is when you grow the most. Yeah, but definitely that's when you feel alive.
What are your messages or message to your kids?
My message to them is really to follow your heart and do what you love, right? Like, don't let anyone else say anything. Don't let your own fear stop you. It's whatever you feel like it, do it. Just like mummy, I was always rebellious in that sense. It's like, I'm doing it, you know, even if it was having a kid. I remember my mum goes, you're having a baby, you know, it's a baby. I'm like, yeah, it's all right, I can do it. So I've always
I
had that
know.
attitude of, yeah, I can. Even this acting thing, you know, I know people sort of like, whoa, you know, out of nowhere, like, I'm going to be an actor. It's like, what? And I'm like, yeah, why not? Because I just can't, I guess I'm just more of a, I see everything rosy and I always see everything possible.
Yeah,
I have an inability to see the real challenges in things.
I
So
know.
then I just do it. And I find out that it's hard along the way, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
I want
which
to,
is
yeah.
it's
Huh?
so cool. I love that, and it makes your face light up so bright. It's so cool how you said I have inability to see the challenges in things ahead
Yeah.
of time until you're in the trenches.
Yeah.
I'm exactly the same way, and it's funny because my husband tells me all the time like that he is a realist, right?
Oh my God, my husband says that as well. And I said, I have to send him a video on YouTube that says, realist is negative. I'm like, but you're being negative. It's like, how do you know that that's going to happen? You know,
That's
that's
so
just,
funny. Yeah, like you got to be realistic and like because again, like when you articulated it so well when you said I have an inability to see the challenges until until I am challenged right
yeah.
at that very moment. Oh my gosh, I could so resonate because I could hear my husband saying in my mind like be realistic, Corrine.
Yeah. And like, it saddens me sometimes when my husband tells me that. I know it's logical, but at the same time, it's a dream crusher. And I would try
Yeah.
to get him to be more positive. So that's why I've been getting him to do more gratitude journal, just to get him to be advancing his positivity a bit more. Um, yeah, but it is a bit harder when you're so positive and you know, imagine big good things, and then they're like, "Ta-dang, ta-dang." It just
Yeah, I
sounds.
know, I know. But it's funny because my husband used to be so super duper negative, and I think I'm
Oh,
rubbing off on him because he's kind of softening up to it, and
yep.
he's starting to see like some sort of like starting to believe in the law of attraction. And
Yeah.
I start hearing him tell my kids like, if you want it, you say it, and it'll happen to you. Like I'm
Oh
like,
my
whoa,
God, that is
you know,
amazing.
and I'm like, wow. I'm not gonna make a comment. I'm just gonna enjoy the
Yeah,
moment.
yeah, yeah. When you start seeing that, that's amazing. And you know,
Yeah.
another thing why I wanted to be an actor, because when I met my husband, you know, I've sort of already, I guess, like I started my business and I'm I don't know, mentally okay. I don't know. He just hasn't seen from, you know, from a dream to something happening, and you know, so I wanted to succeed in it just to inspire him, because he's a realist and he doesn't
Yeah.
think, oh, that's possible. And so a lot of times I like to succeed in things just to inspire people to go, see, it's possible. It proves to myself, but it also proves to others that it's possible. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like we influence so many people in social media, but then we have to look at influencing our own family. And
Mm-hmm.
one of my keynote speak was about how I influenced my husband um,
Mm.
into he used tobacco a lot and put it in his lip before and for a long, long time, and just like cold turkey, just out
Mm.
of nowhere, he just in 2017
Yeah.
just said he quit. And
Ooh.
and because for a long time I was nagging him that it's not
Yeah.
going to be good and all that. And then eventually I quit doing that and I started focusing on myself. I explained that I influenced my husband because I focused on myself instead of doing this to him all the time. You know,
Yeah.
I changed my focus into me and making me better.
Yeah.
And I think it just like it's it just influenced him to a point that it made him feel bad because he's starting to see me transform. And
Mm.
that's really your transformation is really what will influence someone, including your
Yeah.
own family, because he sees it. He sees
Yes.
I'm so alive, you know?
Yeah. Exactly. I agree. Sometimes the only best way to help people is to be that example,
Yeah.
right? To show it to them, and then they can go, yep, one day. And sometimes, so for example, sometimes you look at other people that you don't know and they've lost weight or they whatever, and you're like, oh, that's possible. But I don't know, there's some disconnect between reality, like that you actually believe it. But when someone you really know change their life, you're like, wow, I know them. They weren't like that before and they did it. Then I can do it
Yeah.
too. So yeah.
Yeah. I'm so much more calm now with like having inner peace and just working on my mind and my soul all the time,
Yeah.
on a daily practice. And it was funny because I used to live in Southern California and I worked with this lady there named Rita. And one day I called the bank to say hi to Rita, like just probably 5 years ago when I started my journey in just really finding my own self and
Yeah.
getting to know myself. So I talked to her on the phone and I told her, "Hey Rita, it's Kareen. I just wanted to see how you're doing." And she was like, "This is not Kareen." And I said, "No, it's Kareen. I just wanted to see because it's been a long time since we talked." And she goes, You sound so different." You know, you're a different person. And I'm like, well, I would hope so because I've been working on myself for a long time now.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, it's just been
Yeah. No, it just froze a little bit. Um, I think my internet might be a little bit bad. It says unstable, but yeah, good.
so yeah, and it's been such an awesome ride for me to really get to know who I am and what I
Yeah.
want and how I want to make a difference in this life. And it's really amazing because that's when I start meeting people like yourself, you know?
Mm.
And the more you learn about yourself, the more you meet the most amazing people on this planet. Don't you
Yeah.
agree? Like you attract the same people.
Yeah. Life becomes so much more fun when you have like-minded people and we're all trying to solve help the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what is the one thing that you learned from your mom? Like, just one big thing that you think you carry on with yourself, no matter your struggle, success, age, no matter where you're at in life?
If I could think of how my mum is as a person, is that she's always smiling. She's always happy. Like, I think that's the one thing when people see me and they're like, you're so the same. And you really brighten other people's lives when just because you choose to be smiley and happy. Because of course there are moments where I don't feel good, but I'm just so used to being happy that yeah, it makes me feel better. It makes everyone else feel better. And I think if we could all try to smile more, be happy, that will really affect everything in your life, right? Like you start off with a better day, then you can pursue any dreams you have. But if you can't fix your mood yet, if you're just more of a, but I have that, what is that, resting bitch face? Is what you're saying?
Yeah.
That's just the way I am.
I
Then
never could understand why people do that.
yeah. So in business you attract more clients and leads because they're like, I want to work with you because you're so happy. You know, more people want to be around you, more opportunities. Yeah, that's just what popped in my mind. Of course, I've learned a lot of things from my mum, but I think that's the one thing I'm proud of.
But that could like go a long way though. You know, like imagine somebody that wants to kill themselves that day and all you do is smile big at them and they change their mind. Like I always tell my kids that make sure you always smile at people no matter even if they don't smile back,
Yeah.
because you never know how much that smile impact their
Yeah.
day. So I talk to
Yeah.
them
It's
about
so
that.
right. Yeah, because sometimes when people are just in such a dark place, they think everyone hates them, or they shouldn't be in this world. And then having that small smile might go, oh,
Yeah,
yeah, you're
make
right.
them question.
Yeah, yeah.
Awesome. One last question, but before I go into the last question, where can my listeners find you, Lynn?
Yeah, sure. So I'm all over Instagram and Facebook, etc. Linh Podetti. But if you are interested in learning more about virtual assistant, I am going to share with you a landing page with Kareen down there. Yeah, I'll send you the link later for you to download a full ebook that's going to explain to you about outsourcing and how to delegate and how to find a VA, etc. So I think that would be really interesting for people.
And it's really a game changer when you have someone that can help you do the stuff you don't want to do,
Yeah, more free time.
but
Yeah.
they're necessary, right?
Yes.
Awesome, Lynn. All right, Lynn, what is your definition, Lynn Podetti's definition of the word mother hustler?
Okay. A mother hustler is someone who truly knows who she is, knows what she wants, and will do whatever it takes to get there. She doesn't give a F about what people think, and she's willing to put the hard work in so that she could have everything in this world.
Awesome.